Dear ITC friends, it has been a long time that I was not able to post a video in the YouTube channel. I apologize, but I was not very well for quite some time and had also many domestic issues, so I couldn't do it. But today, my friend Carlos Fernandez, that most of you know because I have spoken about him in my books and described how with another person, two people, but essentially one, our friend, common friend, we started into this venture of ITC. So Carlos just made an interview in Spanish, and I am gladly going to shorten here the main points that he asked me. He asked me, and I'm going to get the paper, an easy, reliable, important is the word reliable guide for practicing, for attempting this technological method of communicating with another dimension, which apparently is the next dimension. There are many worlds, as Rio do Tempo told me years ago. And so, of communicating. I remembered that in one of my books, not the last one, the one before, I have an appendix, is this one, which only says this, and it's still some 40 or so pages, which means 40, 50 pages, which means it's very detailed. And in this book, Glimpses of Another World, published in 2021, there is this appendix on how to attempt the contact via ITC, electronic contact with the dead. And here you can be sure that everything that says here is correct, and it has been verified. And it's I and my friend Edgar Müller who writes a chapter of this appendix called Software for EVP Work and Research, a guide for the beginner and the experienced by Edgar Müller. And this is a man very knowledgeable. He's presently the president of the Swedish Parapsychological Society for Psychical Research, and an engineer of high international experience. So this is also very useful, this software guide by Edgar Müller. And the handbook I wrote, so of course it's correct. Then Carlos asked me, in your view, what is the purpose of ITC? I think that is really the time to forget about these questions. What is ITC for? Oh, so. How do you make it? It has been said so many times. Are really the dead who speak? I have to say, in my opinion, yes. They speak because they have spoken with me. They have spoken with me, and I have proof that it's them. Some I know, many I know, others I don't know, but they identified themselves. Among them, also they asked me, what was the most striking, impacting of your contacts? And I must say, it was with my beloved dog, Nisha. Nisha, I cherish all the contacts, obviously, but with Nisha is special. They say, how could she speak to you? As a matter of fact, she spoke in Portuguese. It's true, this she did. It's published in the ITC journal website, www.itcjournal.org. Nisha, and I used to speak with her in English because she was born in India when I lived there. And Ram Prasad, who accompanied me for many years in my trips to Tokyo, then to Portugal when they sent me back to Lisbon. Then his son came here, Carlos even met him, used to speak with Nisha in English only, because he didn't know any Portuguese, never learned. And Nisha spoke in Portuguese. And she spoke with a little voice, childlike voice, and she spoke with me and answered my questions. Was a direct radio voice. She spoke on several occasions. Also, my other dogs and one of my cats, Corsi, also said their names. But Nisha is different because Nisha spoke through direct radio voice, and she had a dialogue with me. So this was the most beautiful thing that happened to me. Of course, my father, of course, it's unnecessary that I say, I love my father deeply, my grandmother, my brother Luis, my mother, my other dogs, my uncles, so many. And now I'm going to say here, for the first time, what happened. And Carlos knows, because he was no longer working here with me in ITC. This was until very recently, until a couple of years ago. I used to have a voice, two voices, recurrent, through the direct radio voices, because that's what they were, practically always, at a certain point. One was só, that used to say, eu só, sou só, I am só, it's só, sou perro. So, one of these voices, I'm going to tell the second one. Carlos doesn't know what I'm going to say. He will know for the first time now. One of them was só. Só, an abandoned dog, which I describe in several of my books. Okay, só. And I have many, it's many. 50 more. This voice saying, I am só, sou só. I am só, sou só, sou perro. In Spanish, perro. Means I am a dog, I think, pienso, and so on. Another voice, which Carlos does not know, just occurred to me, because very recently I know what this voice is. Used to say, hola tia. Carlos, do you remember this voice? Hola tia. Hola tia. Used to say this, like a juvenile, boyish of a boy, masculine, but of a boy, young boy. Hola tia. And there this voice came, and I used to get tired. But who is this one that's always saying, hola tia, hello auntie? And I used to say, Carlos, oh, who called, who spoke? I used to say, Carlos, this one that tells me hola tia 100 times. I don't know 100, but perhaps. And I did not know this voice. I used to tell Carlos, this voice I don't know. He calls me tia, but I have no male nephew that I know of, because no, I have one male nephew, my brother's son, one female niece, my brother's daughter, Ana Filipa, And I have of my my sister who lives, my brother no long lives here, Teresa, and she has 2 boys, both living, one 17, the other one 10 or 11. Okay. And I used to tell Carlos, I don't know, who is this? I have no nephew. That has died, I mean. Okay. A short time ago, some 15 days ago, speaking with my brother's daughter, my brother Luis, who was a merchant marine captain, speaking with my niece, Ana Filipa, his daughter. She doesn't understand anything of ITC, but she likes to ask me. And she asks me, Auntie, who used to speak with you? I used to say, your father, which is my brother, your father, my father, who is her grandfather, of course, and this, and my mother, and my Nisha, and so on. And then suddenly I remember, and I told her, Ana Filipa, do you know something that happens in my recordings, in many of my recordings? It was almost every day that the direct radio voices appeared. No, what is it? What is it? She's very, very enthusiastic, but she's afraid. She doesn't want to know because she's scared. She tells me, eu tenho medo. Okay, she's afraid, scared. So she doesn't experiment and she doesn't want to know more. She doesn't want to listen to her father's recording. She's scared. Okay. And I told her, Ana Filipa, do you know something that used to happen? There was this voice, like of a boy, that used to say all the time, Hola, tia. Hello, auntie. And then I used to tell Carlos, there comes again this one that I don't know who it is, saying, Hola, tia. Hello, auntie. He said, Ana Filipa, there is this voice that tells me, Hola, tia, all the time. But you have no other brother that died? No, because her brother lives. My nephew, Pedro Nuno. And she tells me, my niece, you know, tia, once my father took my mother in the ship, big ships, my brother was already the commander of big ships, took my mother, and she was pregnant, and she had an abortion in the ship. And my father threw the fetus, a male fetus, into the ocean, because what else would my brother do? And I insisted, was it a boy? Yes, it was a boy, she said, because it was the last weeks of my mother's pregnancy. So now I know now that I think I know, who used to tell me all the time, Hola, tia, is this unborn nephew that I never met and that I did not know existed until 2-3 weeks ago, that my niece, Ana Filipa, told me about. And now you also know that this boyish voice, Hola, tia, is very probably this unborn boy baby of my brother Luis. Going back to the purpose of ITC, which is, in my view, is not ghost hunting at all, for obvious reasons, no? The purpose, as we have been told, is an ethical purpose. It is the development, the expansion of human consciousness. It has been told many times. It's in this book, which I have in French and in English. I have showed it to you, originally published in German. And my dear Ernst Senkowski, Bible of ITC, and Adolfo Holmes computer texts, also in German. It's an ethical purpose. To recognize, I have a citation here, that the respect for each living being is part of the upcoming spiritual development of man. And the high entity, the technician, well-known technician, added, ITC should, in the future, ITC should encompass, besides human rights, the protection of animals and of nature. So, this is the purpose of ITC. That every life form is equally important in this world, which for me is not at all a novelty for me. I know this practically since I was born. And because people who know me know that I am above all an ecologist. Deep ecology is my, don't like to use the word religion because it's not a religion, but it's my conviction, is my thought. And of course ITC, but ITC you already know. The rest is rather unimportant to me. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you to Carlos for his, as usual, help and assistance. Thank you all.